Hello, Internet, and hopefully you can listen to me. This is your host of Cloud Native FM, and I'm here to find my friend Richard Simon, who will be sitting on the platform, and I think he's sitting on the bridge. And Richard, we finally see you. You can join us. Here we are. Richard, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
my friend. We able to
Hello,
find you.
everyone.
So, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen,
here
we
I
able
am.
to find my friend. Here I am. Yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, now we find our friend Richard Simon, host of the Cloud Therapist Show. We do everything live action from bunch of the conference. I think this is our fifth live stream of the year from on both of these YouTube channel as well. But right now is sitting on the platform, and we are connected on the platform, and you are watching us on the platform called YouTube, and you are learning platform engineering. Over to you, Richard.
So everything's a platform
Yes,
as a service. How are you
that's
doing,
the right
Saim?
way to call it. That's the right way to call it. Tell us, where are you sitting? Give us a good glimpse. I can see some of the
I
people
am.
taking selfies, some pictures, every
Yes, yes,
people walking by. So tell us where you are.
I am. So I'm standing smack in the middle of London, central London, as we call it, or downtown for those people who call it downtown. So central London, I'm on what's called as the Millennium Bridge. So this was actually built around for the year 2000 for the celebration of the century, beginning of the century. And as you can see somewhere here, that is St. Paul's Cathedral, just behind me in the background. And if I'm clever enough to be able to switch the camera around, then I'll be able to show you the rest of the.
Oh, my friend is disconnected with me. Oh my God. I think he actually clicked the wrong button. He will be with us in a few. You are actually watching the live platform con. It's happening in London. And I think the platform con 2025, it's unique in a sense. It will be live streamed from the three cities, London, Paris, and New York. And my friend is back.
Hey, yeah, so we're so live, I can't even remember which buttons to press anymore. So, okay, so yeah, I was saying that I'm going to switch over the settings here, so just bear with me. Let me see if I can actually do that, and then you guys can actually see what I'm looking at, which is a lovely view of the town. Okay, so this is actually the Millennium Bridge, as I said. And then if I pan over this way, you can see various other bridges of the city. That big, tall, long building, sharp-looking building is the Shard. That's S-H-A-R-D. And then right across that building there is actually the that building is actually the Tate Modern. So that's actually a gallery and lots of different art and so on. So that's towards the end, if you can see that building there. And then over on this side, more buildings and more bridges in the city. So the Millennium Bridge is actually just a footpath bridge. So it's only for pedestrian traffic, for foot traffic, not cars or anything else. But all the other bridges around are for various other stuff, including cars or vehicles, I should say, and trains and things like that. So I thought we'll start here because obviously this bridge is a platform. So, and since we're talking about platforms today, Saim, I thought this would be a good place to start for me, and then show you a little bit of the town as well.
100%, absolutely. You are standing on the platform, and you will be walking by to the conference where the platform con is happening. That's how strange the word is in the vocabulary of platform and the platform engineering is. But Richard, give me some time because I need to give some recap what's happened for the last 2 days in the platform con. It started on 23rd of June. And today is 25th. This is the live day London stream. Bunch of keynote happened today. Some of the keynote speaker will be joining us today, so please bear with us on this on the both of these YouTube channel as well. So it's the third day of the platform in Con itself. I think it's run for the 2 more days. One of the days now, what's been where my friend is Richard Simon, is Platform Con London. So it's been the in person. There are some keynotes happening. So Richard will give us a small keynote or key our view of what the key takeaways from some of the conference talk. You're able to listen, able to listen. But I have some collect
Yes.
some information from some of our guests, and then I go straight to my friend. So what I've been hearing for the some of the talks for the last 3 days, this is the third day of the platform gone. I think what I've been hearing is clearly from hype to hard-won reality, as complexity has skyrocketed. Practitioner shared real-world strategies for building truly scalable platform. Bunch of wonderful talk already being delivered on the PlatformCon YouTube channel. A back and first, a strong backlash against bust first backstage only solution emerge. Speaker emphasized that investing in robust platform backend APIs and orchestration before adding any portal is critical. Platform con discussion stressed on optimizing for all stakeholders, not just developers, highlighting the need for Pareto efficient platform design that doesn't burden operator or security teams. I have used the word Pareto efficient platform, and now I need to go back to the Richard because I have already used some buzzwords. So, Richard, tell us what you've been hearing from today, some of the talks you're able to listen to, and some of the discussion you had with some speaker and organizers.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day. So there's been lots of talking around, obviously, platform engineering. That's obviously the main theme, I guess, that we're having. But it's kind of, because it's focused on platform engineering only, it's kind of quite diverse in terms of the conversation. So we've gone everything from sort of, how to build the platform engineering, how to transition from kind of classic DevOps, if you like, how to do platform engineering, cost effectively. So lots of kind of cost management sort of talks and things like that, and various other ones. So it's been actually quite diverse. I didn't really maybe appreciate the fact that platform engineering is not just building a platform, but there's lots of other stuff that you need to kind of look into as well. So things like governance and cost management, and maybe transitioning from a more sort of classic DevOps approach as well. So lots of stuff around it. If you're kind of into and want to sort of get into platform engineering, if you're doing it, is really a little bit for everybody in this in this conference. And as you said quite rightly, saying um, they've been running the whole week, so we're kind of catching it on the London sort of wing of that of the event. But the virtual event's been running all week. It's in New York City tomorrow. Some of the folks, actually, some of the organizer folks I spoke to today are actually flying over tonight, so they're going to be over there for the New York event as well. And I think it's going to continue until Friday. So there's going to be virtual stuff still going on. There's workshops here. There is various themes, everything from sort of culture to sort of building platforms to, as we said, sort of cost management and things like that. So all of those themes are also running at the London conference. And obviously, there's actual practical hands-on workshops as well. So lots of the sponsors are also putting on practical workshops as well. And I think all of that really culminates into a whole bunch of activities that are specifically around platform engineering.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I think one of the one of the key trends I've been hearing is around once again the AI integration, uh, developer portal misused, high adoption of portal UI tools is incongruent with actual usage. Team need to develop features beyond just portal. That's some of the talks I've been hearing to. Infrastructure governance shift from ad hoc infra to graduate to guarded template provisioning. Developers get power with boundaries. blueprints and backplates. I will hear more about in a minute what backplates means, but growing adoption of platform reference architecture and architecture template to guide effective implementation as well. So, Richard, you know that the team who's running this conference, the Humanitech, has actually wrote down some reference architecture for the platform engineering. So I've seen so many talks around that as well. I'm hoping in the near future
Yeah,
we
there
able
has
to
been.
bring
Yeah,
back. Yes, absolutely. And I think I'm hoping like in the near future on both of our YouTube channel, we bring back some of the guests around reference architecture and to need to understand what they really mean, what they mean by the reference architecture. Is there are we are now in a now we are in an old enough to add platform engineering reference architecture, or is it a still baby project or a baby platform or a baby template? So we will be catching up more on in this platform as well. But my friend Richard, where you are and where are you heading right now?
yeah.
And
So
tell us where is.
I'm just heading towards the cathedral, as you can see. Along the way, I found the Salvation Army, which is a long-standing charity in the UK. Also on the other side is the City of London School. So that's
Okay.
one of the inner city schools. And then we're heading towards St Paul, and then we're going to head into the venue itself for the event.
Oh, good, good, good. And while you're walking, Richard, can you tell us like KubeCon London happened in the same city? This place is how much far from that place where the KubeCon London happened?
Yes, actually not too far. Um, Around London, you get around on the tube. Maybe take a bus or two. Most people tend to get on the tube or the London Underground. That's the train system in the city. So that's well connected. So that venue, I think, is yeah, probably just a few stops away from where I am. So not too far at all.
Awesome, good. So, Richard, if you actually have some time or allow me, I have created some platform engineering poem. So I hope
Uh
your
huh.
connection work and you will be able to listen to my platform engineering poem. And please let me know
Okay.
if you like it.
Okay. Go
Starting
ahead.
rhyming, starting rhyming it to make you feel joy. So, Richard, I'm ready. One, two, three. This is my platform engineering poem. In code and cloud, beneath the stream, lies the builder of every dream. Not apps, not feature in the glare, but scaffolds holding all with care. The dev they push, the ops they scale, and yet it's platform that prevail. With golden path and gates well placed, reduce toil, increasing pace. From YAML scrolls to service mesh, that they tame the sprawl, they make it fresh. A dashboard here, a CLI there, with docs that breathe, not just despair. They are not the product, not the star, but trust me, they are the northern star. They map the maze, they clear the way. So builders build without delay. Yet hardened still, they face the grind of silos, shadow IT time. Of just one more, can you please, of day to ops and fragile APIs breathe. So here to them, the unsung crew who patch, who plan, who push things through in layers deep, their work unseen, they are the soul of every team. Rishad, did
Woo,
you like
fantastic.
it? Oh,
Very good. Well done.
thank you very much, Richard. I think we
I,
need to
I
create
just
more.
I just don't know whether to thank you or to thank ChatGPT for that.
Yes, awesome, awesome,
Woo!
awesome.
Nice one.
This is actually Claude. Claude.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Well, thank you,
Well,
Claude. We appreciate that.
with AI, now we can do fancy things on the stream, which we should be thankful to our AI.
I know. I know. It saves us so much time, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well,
Okay,
all
so
these
I'm actually near the cathedral now, so
okay,
I'll be heading a few more stops, and then we'll be a few more minutes, and then we'll get there. Okay,
awesome.
so I'm just crossing the road. Here's the road. Just crossing over here. Lots of school children out and sort of school trips and things like that. So I
Hmm.
spotted a whole bunch of those happening in the area, but that's fairly common because this is quite a touristy area. Lots of people tend to come out here. Um, okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm just walking down the street. So yeah, so I mean, I had some conversations with various people at the conference already. So some of those talks are going to come out as sort of offline uh, videos on our mutual channels, and the main kind of conversations were really kind of trying to encourage people, I guess, to really adopt platform engineering. The thing I haven't seen a great deal of is how much adoption is happening. I know for kind of startups and, for those kind of younger organizations, it's relatively easy to be able to adopt these new things. And one of the questions I sort of posed to a few people was, how is the older organizations doing, especially the smaller ones, not necessarily the large older organizations, but the smaller ones. And I don't think there's any specific uh, sort of surveys or reports that really provide any useful information at the moment when it comes to adoption rates. I'm still not really convinced with that, and the issue that I see still is the investment that people have made in things like DevOps, and now we're telling them to switch over. And I was talking to a couple of the developers, senior developers that are actually attending the
Mhm.
event, and they were in agreement as well, because they said, yeah, we kind of started doing DevOps 5-10 years ago, whatever, and it was quite a shift for us culturally, and now we're kind of having to adapt again. So I'm not sure it's really that simple, or as simple as maybe the in crowd, the people who are actually in the know and actually doing this. So I think that's the issue that I'm seeing at the moment. That's what I kind of that's what I gleaned from from the conversations I had in the corridors of the event.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think we have some guests today who will be actually we asking the same question today. Like, what is the adoption rate? Like, is it a platform
Yes,
engineering now becoming from a experimented project to the something that everybody should be caring or actually been using in the production or thinking about at least? Because platform engineering is not only just a project you can clone from the GitHub repository and start it. It's an ideology, it's a mindset, it's a shift of momentum of the things you do
yes,
from the platform engineering and how will we actually enable. I did some podcasts on my YouTube channel as well, and I will be asking Richard to tell us like what he's been hearing on 2025 around the platform engineering. I think the one thing somebody told me on my YouTube channel, and he's been joining us on our live stream today, hopefully. He told me the wonderful story. She said, like, the term platform or even IDP means different things to the different stakeholder. Why not we can actually urges us, why not we can actually rethink our terminology perhaps, shifting from internal developer platform to the outcome based platform and adopt a layered language suited for executive, product owner, and engineers alike. Because I think that the one thing I'm actually been talking here is a miscommunication between the stakeholder around the platform engineering vocabulary. If we use a word like outcome based approach, might be some people aligned towards the overall emphasis of the platform engineering is. So that's one of the key areas as well. But the adoption rate, like I will be definitely looking forward to. I think we need to check some Dora reports. There's a one of the state of GitOps report is also out, and we need to take a full focus on Richard in the near future. What is the adoption rate? Because this is a very good question to consider. Like we've
Absolutely.
been hearing, we've been chatting, we've been following the conference, but what is the actual adoption rate? Is it going? Is it going down the rate? I think something back somebody told me the platform engineering has is now in a decline in a way. Like people are now less concerned about what the underneath technology is, but the more certain about what the outcome was. So it's
Yeah.
been declining in a sense, like no more approaches or terminologies climbing up, just people thinking out critically. Was this helpful? Is it helpful for us to rethink or realign our organization to the new paradigm as well? But Richard, we need
Yes.
to research more on this topic.
Oh, absolutely. I think we need to cover it. Just to let you know, I'm at Paternoster Square. So this is kind of the one of the areas here, lots of business buildings and so on around here. So the venue where I'm heading to is called Sandcroft, and that's where the event is, which is just down the road. So let's just head into there now, and we'll see if we can just go through the door. I will need my badge, so I'm just going to see if I can get that out. I may have to turn off the camera just to respect the reception area as I go in, but then I'll turn it on as soon as I'm on the stairs. So same, let me see if I can just get to my badge very quickly. So I did register earlier this today. So let me just do that now. Put that around my neck. Here we go. But yeah, there has been other conferences at this venue. So we covered SUCON briefly. We did a live stream on SUCON, you and I, earlier this year. So that's actually at the same event as well. And we're going to be going in shortly as soon as my badge plays ball and agrees with me. There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, so Sandcroft is just here. That's the name of the building. Yeah, so just bear with me. I am going to just turn off the camera just to respect the entrance for a minute, but you can still hear me. Okay, so let me see if I can do that. All right. So just going in now.
Finally,
Then
you are
I'll enable
inside.
it as soon as I'm on the other side. I am here, finally.
Awesome. How many platforms you have been switching to? Are you cutting down from
A
here?
lot. Lots of platforms today. All about platforms today. So yeah, okay. So let me see if I can just bring this back on. Here we go. Okay. So this is just the entrance area. We're going to go up the steps and then head straight into the event. See, same, all these live streams, they don't do this kind of stuff. They don't show people the tourist trail. They don't show
Yes, nobody. Is
all
this
the
the only
big
channel?
spots in London. This is the
Nothing.
entrance.
Awesome.
Welcome
We are
to
the only
PlatformCon
one.
Live.
Yes, we are the only one who are actually been innovator of this approach of telling people how to actually get into the conference, behind the scene, and all the unusual stuff that people aren't aware of. They only heard about platform engineering, the platform, telling them
Oh, you can
they.
hear it. You can hear it. Look, you can hear it already.
Oh, awesome.
Right, here we go. The noise level is going to increase
Yes,
as
absolutely.
we
That
go
is
through. Looks like folks are on a break, maybe. So let's see what's happening. Here we go. So this is the entrance. Here's the lovely people at reception. Here's all the lovely people at reception. Hi, live on live stream, live on YouTube. Say hi. Okay. All right. So over on that far side, same, we have the main stage area. So that's where the keynotes happen, panels, and so on. We have a small area here ahead of us, which is um, the showcase area. It's kind of split into two sections. So you've got the bit in front of you. On. So this is the other theme that they've had on one of the workshops called the Platform Garage. So this is where a lot of hands-on events have been going on. And then the other one, which I really like, and you'll see why in a minute, is called Platform Therapy. So lots of therapy going on here, Saeem. I thought you might enjoy that
Oh
one.
my God.
A little bit of
Yes,
irony there,
absolutely.
I think, for you.
Somebody
There
grab
is
grab
a
some words.
networking event. Yeah, there's
Okay.
going to exactly, yeah. There's going to be a networking event, so I think they're getting ready for that. All the wine glasses. Some of the vendors here at the moment. Classmith is here. Um, Now, I like Classmith because they've got a Raspberry Pi on their stand, so I'm all for that. I definitely support that. Um, and yeah, and that's kind of really the main thing. They have the folks have had a chance to look at the agenda, so maybe we can just have a quick look at the agenda here. They've got it on
Awesome. Great.
display, so we'll maybe just go through a few of the talks for the folks so they can see what's on the agenda. So here's all the sponsors. Like I said, a lot of them are either at the in the showcase area, or they're, like I said, running some kind of workshop. So you've got Humanitech, Gitpod, ThoughtWorks, Cloudsmith, Firefly, ChainGuard, Temporal, Syntasso, JetBrains, and so on. So there's a whole bunch of them there, and they've all had pretty much. I think they've pretty much all had talks. There is a certification area as well, so there's a push for getting certifications, so kind of having platform engineering certification as well, so you can actually be a practitioner and so on. As I said, there are three main sections. As you can see, there's a main stage, there's a garage area, there's a therapy area, which I just showed you. So they kicked off about 9:30, and then after lunch, they've had talks about MVP, Terraform, OpenAI, using API ops, and lots of other talks as well that were very interesting as well. And like I said, I mean, we're not going to be able to kind of cover them all and do them justice. Most of them are already available on demand, so folks can just go to the
That's great.
website and just go from there, or just hit the YouTube channel. I think that's probably easiest to do.
Okay, so
But
Richard,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
we have one of our guests is actually joined us, so we will
Oh,
be actually
fantastic.
honoring them in a minute. And there was a very good time while I picking my friend on this stream, because there are some reports are out in public. There is two guests lined up. So Richard, might be you need to find a one quick place, because we need to ask some good question to our guests. So one by one, I will be inviting my guest, and this is the time to host them live. Hello, Steve. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello. Yeah, it's good to be here. I managed to find the really cool video.
Nice
Awesome,
one, Steve.
wonderful.
Good choice.
Great. And I think tons of congrats for the Steve, because I know he's been working on very hard for the latest and the greatest state of GitOps report. And I will be asking some question around that as well. And I have other our mutual friend. I think we all know very well. And allow me to introduce one of my very long time friend, Adrian. Hello, Adrian
Ah,
from Chain God. You are now on the
hey,
screen.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
hello.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes, we
absolutely.
can.
oh,
So
good.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm afraid
it's
I'm not on PlatformCon today. Some of my team are, though. I believe we're at booth 9.
Fantastic.
no,
So I think we need
it's
a
always
same. We need a quick intro to Steve and Adrian. I think that'll be useful, so the folks who are watching can actually know who they are, what they do, and what they've been up to, that kind of stuff. So Steve, maybe you can start with you first.
Sure. Hopefully my sound and video is okay. I'm roving around, so my camera might be a bit shaky.
Yeah, we're all good. You're all good.
So my name's Steve Fenton. I am the principal DevOps researcher at Octopus Deploy. We're a CD tool, but we're super interested in things like platform engineering because we build these things too, and they're super exciting to us. So yeah, really happy to be here, and it's good to see both of you again, and good to meet you, Adrian. Hi, you too, Steve. Yeah, so my name's Adrian Moat. I haven't put my surname in, sorry. Yeah, I'm DevRel or technical DevRel at ChainGuard. And at ChainGuard, we primarily build secure container images with zero CVEs, but we are expanding into VMs and libraries at the minute. So that's the big news from ChainGuard at the minute.
awesome. Thank you very much, Steve and Adrian, for your intro. And one of our guests from London, and she will appear on my YouTube podcast, I think last month. And she's the keynote speaker as well. So she will be giving us a very quick update. Hello, Nikki. It's always player. You are now live on the screen.
Fantastic. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. I think I've got a lot of background noise. Apologies, but fantastic to be here. Yeah, delighted. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Can you give us a quick intro of your company, some of your talks you have been already been delivered? You already did a talk, I think 1 hour and 90 minutes prior to that. So give us a quick intro of some of the talks you have been did today and some of your company's introduction.
Yeah, fantastic. So in terms of the talks that I've done today, I did a talk on your platform and how it floats, actually, and how you potentially need to put it on a little bit of a diet. So that was looking around some of the signs of bloat. What are the type of things that cause your platforms to basically to accumulate a combination of just too much tools, processes, overheads, and what you can do to try and trim that down. So that was my main talk, and then I was also on a panel as well, which was just looking at how platform engineering has evolved and what makes a great platform engineer. So that were the two talks, or the panel and the talk that I did. In terms of an introduction for me, so yes, I'm the CTO of Trifork UK. So many people will have known me from before as the CEO and CTO of OpenCredo. And we've just recently gone through a consolidation, a bit of a merger, and we're rebranded. So Trifork is our parent company, and so we are henceforth going to be known as Trifork. So apologies if I talk about Trifork and OpenCredo interchangeably, but I'm still getting used to saying Trifork now. So.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think we will start with Richard will ask some question because he has some very good question all the time. So Richard will start with the Steve first. Steve actually has some state of GitOps report from 2025, and I think it's been out from the last 10 less than a week or more than a week. But Steve has some insight to it, and it's always been delighting to see what's happening, how the platform engineering correlates with some of the early innovation been happening and how these actually mix together. So Steve, give us a very quick summary of what the data told us about the GitOps in 2025.
Yeah, so we had a look at GitOps because it's, especially around containers and Kubernetes, GitOps is a very strong movement at the moment. And we wanted to see what techniques and practices people were using and which ones were crucial for success, really, and to get those GitOps outcomes. So we tested practices against GitOps outcomes, which are around security and compliance. things like that, and stopping configuration drift. And we also tested it against a load of DevOps outcomes as well. So things like software delivery performance, reliability, and well-being. So yeah, that's kind of like a potted, quick version of the report. It's about 81 pages, so it's difficult to do a short version.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's been a great work you have been done. Steve and I also work the CNCF on the platform engineering maturity model as well. And I asked Steve to give us some latest update around that as well. But I go to the Adrian because he's been silenced for a while. And Adrian, first, I think I really appreciate Chain God because I really heard the news that the Conico project from the Google has been archived. And then the Chain God actually team refork it around, and now they continue the investment so the organization can still use the Conico for the CI/CD secure delivery. So thank you very much for doing that, because Conico is one of my favorite tools for that as well. So Radin, give us a viewer insight, because you live in the security umbrella. I have told with the Nikki in the past around how security and works in the platform engineering, but you work in the security supply chain part. To tell us how you feel about the platform engineering and the supply chain security in general.
In general, that's a very big question. So, well, I mean, I can give a plug. I am doing a tutorial with Tom Finch tomorrow on basically this topic about supply chain security. So, I'll be talking about what supply chain security is, why it's becoming more and more important, and like some ways to improve supply chain security. One of the things I'll talk about, do you remember back in March, there was the changed files GitHub action for that attack? That's one of the things I'll talk a little bit about, because I think that gives you a good idea of why supply chain security is important. I don't know if most people are aware, because that attack kind of died down. But a few days later, we realized that although this changed files GitHub action attack had affected hundreds of organizations, what they were actually trying to do was hack Coinbase. It didn't work, but they were only aiming for this one attack on Coinbase, and everybody else was sort of collateral damage. And it's that kind of thing I want to talk about, how you have to be very careful about your dependencies. And people are more and more targeting the sort of weakest dependency rather than directly attacking an organization.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I think I will go to the Nikki once again, because Richard and me were speaking this thing like, we know platform engineering is now a subject where everybody wants to listen to, but it's been actually been adopted, like organization who actually been working on, are they really critical? What is the adoption? Is there any report out in the public where can I collect information and see which one of the companies are adopting platform engineering in general? I think Nikki has some insight into it as well from from her company, and also from the company she able to work in the past. So Nikki, can you give us a quick insight out? If you find some companies are really critically adopting platform engineering in their organization, what is the adoption rate, do you think, from your own perspective? It's been up, it's been down, it's been mid, it's been quiet. Like how is the stuff going on?
Sure. So I think I got the question right. Apologies, the sound is not great this side. Yeah, so in terms of adoption, I think that what we're seeing certainly is that the adoption is definitely picking up. So I think it was Gartner that put a stat out that said, I think by 2026, apparently 80% of teams or organizations will be able to be using platform engineering. So we've certainly seen an uptick in terms of people looking to take advantage of this. I'd say where the adoption has been maybe more widespread has been maybe in some of the more traditional enterprises that are trying to maybe make more economies of scale. So the sort of DevOps you build that you run, it hasn't worked quite as much. So we're seeing that there's some movement towards that in sort of the enterprise side of things, but also equally on the sort of on the smaller, medium enterprises as well. So the adoption is, I'd say it's definitely there. It's still has many of the same challenges, though, is the one thing that I'd say is constant, is that people run into the same challenges every time when they're trying to implement these things. So people are trying, but still running into the same challenges moving forward.
Awesome, good. And also, I think Richard, you will try this. I give you some time to think so you can take time to ask some questions.
Yeah. So I was, just picking up on what you said, Nicky. What's kind of been some of the challenges that you've sort of come across, and what customers have been telling you about?
Well, to be honest, a lot of the time the challenges that we run into are when things have gone wrong. So they've tried to implement the platform, and actually it hasn't really been a success. And quite often that's because there's been a bit of a mismatch between what the business is trying to do and the sort of technical team. So it's not just a technical challenge. Quite often the biggest challenge is around culture. It's around the human side of things. So actually working out how to structure your teams and having a proper platform as a product approach has been it tends to be one of the biggest challenges that we see going in there. So having to do basic education around that is still something which is required. So you'd think, a couple of years down the line, and even at PlatformCon this year, I think people are hoping that people will have adopted more of a platform as a product mindset. And for some people in the industry and stuff, that is the case, but in many organizations, it's still very new to them. And so it is a challenge. So I'd say that's one of the areas. The other is also, I think, just in terms of trying to get senior leadership to also buy into this. So there is very much a lot of groundswell desire for this. And in some cases, we do see executives that are also aligning around it, but sometimes there is really a challenge in trying to convince them if their initiative is coming from the ground up. So that's also something that we're seeing.
And Adrian, in terms of kind of, I mean, you're sort of very close to the sort of the communities and so on. Is kind of what Nick is saying kind of reflective of what you're hearing as well? Do they have kind of more unique sort of challenges that they're having to deal with in the sort of the development sort of communities?
So you're differentiating developer communities and enterprise, or
well, and yeah, I mean if you're kind of looking at the developers sort of from their perspective versus the platform engineering or the traditional DevOps and the rest of sort of the cloud ops teams, what are really developers feeling about it? And we've kind of a few years down the line, I asked the folks from Syntasso today about kind of is platform engineering a thing now? And I think we agreed that it is a thing now. Okay, so it's been a thing for a few years. Maybe others have actually been doing it without knowing it or calling it platform engineering.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fair enough as well. But how are the sort of the developers really, feeling about it? Are they accepting it? Do they find it useful? Is it something that they do want to, adopt, or is it kind of a hindrance to some of the freedom, maybe, and the sort of artistic freedom that they've normally enjoyed, or artistic flair, I should say?
Right. I mean, that's exactly the sort of a tightrope you have to walk with this thing, right? You want your teams to be relatively the same, so like people can jump between teams and you have the same tooling, and people aren't reinventing the wheel, right? But at the same time, every team needs to be productive and do things, and they don't want things to get in their way. So it's a big tightrope. And yeah, I think we have always been doing this. It just things have got a lot better in recent years, and I think with containers we cracked a lot of the problems around how do you provide developers the freedom that they need without constraining them too much. So I think it's only recently we got a decent tool that addresses exactly that problem. Like developers like it when it helps them get the work done, and they don't like it when it gets in their way. So it depends. Is the only answer I can really give you. It's go and talk to the enterprises themselves and see what developers say.
Excellent. And Steve, for you, I was kind of interested in maybe knowing a little bit more kind of from your circles and some of the research that you do. What's the take up in sort of the rest of or the view, I should say, from sort of the rest of IT, and even I think we talked about a little bit about sort of governance, and maybe Nikki again mentioned sort of the stakeholders and so on. Is that another sort of challenge that we have to overcome when it comes to actually wanting to adopt and implement platform engineering? What's kind of some of the stuff that you're hearing about?
So I think for me, one of the interesting things, and this came up in the panel discussion this morning, and also actually Nikki talked about this in her talk as well on the main stage. I think one of the things that we see is when people start looking at platform engineering, they tend to apply the lens of whatever they've done before. So we've had examples where people are saying our platform engineering team kind of looks like a traditional shared services or IT ops team. And that's because the organization's really got that baked in. They've done it for decades, so actually switching to a slightly different way of running things and actually having to get people to want to use your platform instead of just telling them they have to is like a big leap for a lot of organizations. So I think each organization will be slightly different, but they've all got like a pair of glasses on and it's tinted with whatever they've done in the past. And we've seen it with Agile and Lean and DevOps. They apply that kind of previous context. So, yeah.
Awesome, great. So I think the one of the...
Go ahead.
I think these are the same discussion Steve and I did in the platform a lot. Some of the conversation all be jumping around that as well. But I go back to Nikki and I ask this question because now we are in June 25. June, the 6th month has been passed on the 2025. So Nikki, what still you think is missing in platform engineering, number one? And number two, what is you see which one of the newer domain or newer subject has coined out quite recently this year that hasn't been a part of the discussion in 2024 or 2023, but now it's a part of the discussion. The question around what's missing and what's new added in 2025.
Sure. So, I mean, in one way, I think the obvious answer is AI. So everybody jumps onto this bandwagon. But it really is something which people are talking a lot about. I wouldn't say that people are implementing it necessarily very well, but it is something that is definitely an area of discussion and investigation that I think a lot of people are looking into. So that's, I'd say, the one big difference in terms of where we've gone from 23 and 24 to where we are in 25. So, and I think the discussions here are moving. It's not just the I'm playing around with code in Copilot or it's actually moving towards the agentic model and actually having a look at can we have agents that are being part of making sort of reviewing things and decision processes. So I don't necessarily see that as being super mature at the moment, but it certainly is, I think, an area of interest and an area that people are really focusing on at the moment going forward. So to me, that's where I think a lot of the new sort of work and stuff is going on. And sorry, what was I think I missed the other question. I didn't hear properly.
Yes, absolutely. I think I asked the last time around. I asked again in this version as well. What still you think is missing in platform? Even though we come from a very when we started platform, there's any metrics frameworks out there for the platform engine. Now with the Space, Monk, Dora all being already available. So a lot of the missing puzzles are already being solved. But is there anything you're still missing in platform engineering that organizations requires a lot and nobody is paying attention to?
I think there's not one thing that is missing for platform engineering. If I'm honest, I think there are different things missing in different organizations. So different organizations tend to have skews in one direction or the other. So I think definitely, like I said, the platform as a product approach is a well-known approach that platforms need to take, but not everybody actually implements it necessarily very well. So for some teams, that's not a problem, but for others, that is missing, and that is one of the key challenges. So I think it really depends in one way around the maturity of the organizations and where they are on their journey as to what may be missing or what is not. In terms of generally what may be missing, I think this is something we spoke about previously, and I came up with a new acronym actually. So everybody speaks about the IDP, which is the internal developer platform. But I think that one of the things that's missing is to try and focus on the outcomes. And so I said maybe we need to have an ODP, which is an outcome-driven platform. And that the sort of mentally the vision type things that are missing. So I think maybe there's a thing that's missing is a change to focus on outcome-driven sort of platforms as opposed to just building tools. So I don't know if that's just a language thing, but that would be my 2 cents worth on potentially something that's not missing, but just a different way to think about things.
Yes, absolutely. I think during when we started the live stream, me and Richard is actually joking around this. Like, Richard was standing on the platform, and then he moving on the platform, and then I say, we connected on the platform, and now we actually doing a live stream on the platform. That is you too. So that's why it's case like the vocabulary we spoke about with Nikki last time around. For me, it's very confusing sometimes for the people for the platform engineering side of the. We spoke about one platform, and it means so many different things for so many different stakeholders. How do we actually align people? And that's where I think the outcome-based approach would be ideal, because that's when we're setting up what organization need to have it as well. But I go to the Adrian because, and I want to hear some more insight, because for this year I'm unable to connect with some of the wonderful people at the Chain Guard. They've been doing some incredible work over the years. They're making security relative very easier for us compared to the past, where you need to add so many stuff into the table. Being a developer, I need to focus on and being able to learn so many sophisticated technologies to integrate security on the policy side of the thing, or authentication authorization side of the thing. So Adrian, give us a very quick round of things like what's currently been happening in the horizon in the Chain Guard, what's new open source tool, and in general in security, in the supply chain security. What do you feel? So the fear of the people has gone, or it has been increased in this year?
Yeah, so you asked me very open-ended questions. That's great. There's probably a few things I could talk about. So one thing I've been working on is like how to help people sort of look at their own build systems and improve security. So I wrote something called the Container Hardening Priorities. So if you look at CHPS on GitHub, you'll find a spec and also a little program to help you analyze your own container images and see how secure they are. In terms of Chain Guard, where Chain Guard containers is still a primary product, but we're also looking into VM and into libraries. So you can get your Java libraries or your regular open source Java libraries, but you would pull them from Chain Guard for like Java and Python and potentially other ecosystems in the future. The VM I'm looking forward to. In supply chain in general, what I think we're starting to see is a move more towards modest containers that I think we sort of helped pioneer in terms of things like dictless and reducing the number of DPs. That's really sort of a whole movement that we're kind of at the front of there, I believe. And reproducibility, that's one thing I would like to become more popular and more important. Being able to reproduce a software artifact, be it a container, be it a binary or whatever, identically from the source code. So if I run the same build twice, I get the same thing out, and if somebody else runs the same build, they get a binary identical thing out. And that sounds simple. It's not. And it's actually quite rare that you can achieve that. It's something we work quite hard on in Chain Guard.
Awesome, absolutely. I think I'm a big fan of the Chain Guard. The stuff they have been done, I think, been following along for a very long time. So I think it's been great. They have did some wonderful open source projects. They have some zero CVE images that I really like about it. The part I need to fight with all the vulnerability scanner I need to write in a backend to make sure there's no CVEs. Having an image with zero CVE makes me feel more comfortable than running through the scans all the time as well. And there's a bunch of other stuff around as well. So Steve, now back to you. You're from the Octopus Deploy, the merger of the two companies, the CodeFresh and the Octopus Deploy are being together. Now you have the GitOps tooling around that as well. From your perspective, the way you day-to-day speaking to the customer, in the platform engineering and the GitOps spectrum, what is the one common question that you can keep hearing from this year?
Wow, that's a toughie. One question that we've been hearing all the time. I suppose the interesting thing for this space really is when people start talking about managing fleets, right? I think anyone can manage a cluster, but what happens is when you start having clusters plural and then hundreds of clusters or thousands of clusters, that's when things really start getting complex and hard to manage. So that's been a big topic of discussion. And I would probably add on to that, especially on the GitOps side, we kind of need to dispel this myth. There's a load of folks who are a bit worried that GitOps isn't working for them. And when you dig under the hood, you find out that they've done the version control and they've kind of put like config files in there and all this stuff. There's no automatic pull. There's no continuous reconciliation loop running. So it's not really GitOps. So they're reporting that they're not getting the benefits, but that's kind of what you'd expect because that reconciliation loop is really the core piece that makes it GitOps. So managing fleets is super hard, and doing GitOps without automatic reconciliation is even harder.
Oh yes, absolutely. Richard, any final question you have for our guests before we let them go?
Yes, absolutely. So just quick one, just go around everybody. So just want to ask you if there's kind of one tip that you can give to organizations that want to adopt platform engineering and kind of begin their journey in that. What would that be? What would that sort of tip be? So Nikki, maybe we can start with you, please.
Sure. So the one tip I would say is to make sure you understand where you are and where you want to get to. So that you actually go in the right direction. And I've spoken about this before, but the platform maturity model is a great way to at least assess where you are and to be able to work out where you want to get to. So often I see that people just do what they think or what they've heard other people do, and it's not in the context of their organization. So I think being very specific about identifying where you are, where you're trying to go is a great way to start. So I'd say that's my first tip.
Fantastic. And Adrian?
So, well, from platform engineering, like when I talk about platform engineering teams, are generally talking to me quite often. They sometimes call it golden image programs, just base image programs, and they'll supply their developers with base images. What I would say is do think about your base images, and also think about how are you going to keep them up to date. That's the number one problem I see is people letting base images or images full stop get out of date. You've got to really think about how you keep things up to date, and that's the only way to keep secure and TV.
Excellent. Thank you. And Steve, finally.
Yeah, so I suppose, and again, like this is echoed, there's so much agreement around this aspect of it. I talk about the monk metrics a fair bit. The K is about those key customer metrics. Nikki spoke about this actually in her talk as well today, where it's like, you need to know why people are investing in a platform, and that's the thing that you should be measuring. So I know that we're all looking for, like, we've got trained up with things like the DORA metrics, and it's like, those are the 4 things to measure. With platforms, you don't know what those 4 things are unless you understand why the platform exists. So zoom in on that. That's the crucial thing, because then you know if it's working or not.
Fantastic. Well, I think we're pretty much there. We need to let these folks go, go about the rest of their day. So Nikki, Adrian, Steve, really appreciate all your time. The insights have been fantastic. I think we've got a lot out of the conversation. At the end, we'd love to, obviously, Sam and I would love to follow up with you guys individually and get a little bit more deeper into the sort of areas that you guys are focusing on. That would be really fantastic. I'm sure we'll have you back on to our mutual channels in the not too distant future. But from me, thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Thank you.
Been
Thank you,
fantastic.
Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, thanks. So Richard. I think you liked it. I hope we did good. Some good
We did very good. That was very good. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, like I said, the problem is that there's so much to cover, even in this sort of quite specific area. Saying there's a huge amount of things to actually cover, but I think it's good to actually get some expertise, on the live stream, get it, kind of hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, as we say. I think that's really important because these guys are dealing with it every day.
yes,
We have kind of our own perspectives in terms of customers. We have our own concerns around sort of how platform engineering sort of coming in, and whether people are managing to adopt it, and whether they're having challenges with it, and so on. And you and I have discussed that so many times in the past, and we'll continue to do that, because I think it's an important thing not for these vendors not to forget really what the what the some of the issues are that enterprises will face. But nevertheless, I think it's important that we got a good view and got a good perspective from Nikki and Adrian
I
and
think we have. Yes, I think
sorry,
we
go
have.
ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I think we have a one good thing. Like our guest was from the three different domains, from the security
Yes.
to the GitOps to the relatively talking with the customer, the way you actually CTO kind of a style, where the customer asks
Yes.
about their pains problem, and bunch of interconnected technology like GitOps with Argo CD and the Flux,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also in the.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think we have some very good mix of expert in there as well. But
Yeah,
Richard,
and I
I
think
would definitely.
that's why saying that's why we invited those guys. I mean, they're all bringing different perspectives on the same topic, right? That's really the important thing. And I think the more sampling that we do of opinion and canvas, sort of views of people, the more that we can understand this area, and what are the challenges, what are people facing, what are as they just gave us some of the tips that they can provide as well. So Steve and Adrian and Nikki, are sort of fantastic in that. They give us a slice of really what's happening out there at the moment, and what they're seeing as being priorities for customers. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, absolutely. And Steve, if you're able to go past some of the booths from some of our big lists, I would really have some
Yes,
conversation with those guys.
yes. So
I
I'm
would
going to
love to have.
start. I would love to start with the with Coda, but do we have anybody we can talk to? Not at the moment. Okay, we'll come back to Coda. Now, Coda were very, very generous. They actually gave me one of their T-shirts, as you can see here. So I'm actually wearing
Yes.
the Coda T-shirt at the moment. But the folks are not on the stand, so we'll come back to them a little bit later on. We've got other people here. We've got Coda. We've got Chainguard, but Chainguard's nobody here. So actually, look at these lovely, beautiful socks from Chainguard.
Oh
If
yes.
anybody
Oh
wants
yes.
some blue and orange socks from Chainguard, some of the stickers, various other things. This is the engineering certification area. I think I mentioned that earlier on. So this is kind of where you can actually talk to some of the people in the platform engineering org and get things like education
I
and
think yes. Absolutely.
certification
I
as
think
well.
that area is absolutely I need to research more because there. I think this is a different certification from the Linux Foundation and CNCF. I believe these
Yes,
certifications.
yes, yes, they are. Yeah, and there is the lady that was actually manning the area. She's just not there quite right now. So again, I'll try and catch up with her hopefully later on. If not, we'll have as a separate maybe separate discussion. Some cute monkeys going on here at the control monkey stand. So that's fortunately there's nobody here to talk to, but the monkeys are here anyway on the stand. Um, okay, so we have also Gravity here. So this is agentic API and event management built for platform engineers. Very interesting. So we're going to see if we can actually talk to somebody. Can we talk to somebody from the? Yeah. Okay. We're live on YouTube, so we're live streaming on YouTube. Hello. Would you mind if we just kind of have a quick conversation with you and just talk about Gravity, what you guys do? Yeah? Fantastic. Okay. So can we have a quick intro to yourself, please, role, and then a little bit about Gravity, just kind of background on the company as well.
Sure. So my name's Brent Hunter from Gravity. I'm a solutions engineer, which means I'm on the technical side of the business, and I help out our customers with demonstrations and workshops and testing and evaluating that Gravity does what it says on the side of the tin. And Gravity is an API management platform. This is all about the full lifecycle management of Gravity, from designing APIs to securing them and exposing them with security plans like API keys and OAuth 2, but also about providing a catalog where all your internal developers and external consumers can go and find those APIs, find all the documentation on how to use your services, and subscribe to those services as well. And we do the same thing for APIs, event streams, and now agentic AI as well. So we're really ahead of the market on this subject.
Fantastic. So how is that kind of differing from things like an API gateways? We've had secrets managers that deal with keys and stuff like that in the past. How are you guys kind of differentiating from that?
Yeah, so an API gateway just is one part of the full lifecycle management. An API gateway is responsible for obviously handling the requests and the responses and maybe doing some sort of traffic shaping or security, authentication and authorization. The other components that fit around an API gateway in a full API lifecycle management platform includes things like the API designer, so you can design an API, test the API with mock responses, the developer portal for holding the services and the catalog for documentation, the self-service approach, and then finally, what's really important is observability and monitoring. So making sure that the APIs are performing, properly and performing well, but also being able to identify any slow performing APIs or maybe problems of certain requests or certain clients or customers.
Fantastic. You mentioned testing, so it's probably one of the most dreaded areas when it comes to developers actually doing testing and so on. You also talked about observability. So is your platform kind of integrating with other observability tools and ITSM service management tools and things like that?
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, obviously with Gravity, where you can get all those metrics and logs and analytics from all those requests and responses going through the gateway. But what's really important is being able to automatically export that to other, tools like AppDynamics, Dynatrace, Datadog, New Relic, and the list goes on. But that allows you to export those metrics and logs, those tools, so you can trace that request from as it's coming in from the perimeter network all the way through to your backend services, your databases, your APIs, and what have you. Gravity feeds all that information into those tools, so you have that full traceability of those spans and what have you. Yes.
Fantastic. So I know you guys are sponsoring the event. Have you guys done any talks as well? Are you planning to do any talks at the event?
Yeah. The reason why I'm so hot and sweaty is because I've just spent the last hour doing a workshop about bringing an open API spec into a gateway. So being able to automate the entire process. So, still enabling things that aren't available in an open API spec, like rate limiting and security plans and further documentation and all that. So automating that entire process and educating the full workshop there, the full, packed out how they can actually perform those activities using a variety of services like GitOps and infrastructure as code and Argo CD and Kubernetes operators.
Fantastic. Well, Brent, we'll let you go and enjoy yourself and have a beer. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. So that was Gravity. I didn't really think that API was kind of need a full management tool, but I can see why you would actually need that saying. I think that's definitely something to to include as part of the portfolio of other tools that you have, your sort of system management or observability type of, or management in general type of tools.
Gartner, for the Gartner report, they added from the API management layer, they added Microsoft, Soft, SAP, Boomi, Workato, and Informatica as the number emerging player in this trend as well. So I think API is one of the layer is where is very important layer in the cloud native infrastructure for some of the people running, including the
Yes.
stuff now we are living
Yes.
in MCP server era. So I believe this stuff is more and more important. I think we need to track all these people we're talking to, and hopefully in the near future, we can have full-fledged talk with them what their solution is actually being delivering.
Yeah, we definitely need a more in-depth conversation around this. This whole sort of space it's not splintering, but it just seems to be expanding. There's a lot more kind of things going on in all of these areas, and I think it'll be good to be able to do that. I think, and have just a little bit sort of deeper conversations. I can see.
Sintasso. But oh, Daniel is here. Can you
Daniel is here. Daniel is here. Look, Sintasso, Practice guys, and Daniel is here. So we're going to have a quick chat with Daniel. Daniel, you're live on YouTube. I think that's something that you're not a stranger to. I've done that a few times, right? Excellent. So how's it been going for you guys?
Fantastic. Like, this is definitely our people, so to speak. Everyone I'm chatting to is a platform engineer, into DevOps, totally understands what we're doing, and I've learned a bunch of stuff. So the community has been top notch.
I think this is kind of, because it's focused on platform engineering, it's kind of I was just saying to Sam, it's kind of expanded all the areas within that. So what's kind of anything new that you've kind of picked up on? Anything interesting that's kind of caught your eye, today and maybe the rest of the week as well?
Yeah, so I'm going to be cliched and say AI, but I have to say AI is the buzzword, right? I mean, the talks have been amazing around AI, but the amount of folks that have asked me with Kratix, have you got an MCP server? And luckily, our engineering manager, awesome Shane, I'll shout him out, just the other day was playing around with this and actually spiked to like an MCP server. So we have been playing with it. So it's still very early days. People are asking me, can I get started? Can I play around with the AI interface to a platform? But I think people are also pumping their brakes a little bit, knowing that AI is getting a bit too hyped. But that is the most sort of unique thing I think I've heard about over the last sort of 8 hours or so. And I'm still learning a bunch about this too. So.
Well, I think it's certainly been the AI AI agents year, if you like, or maybe the AI agent protocol year, 2025. That probably is a little bit more accurate. So, what else is kind of what are sort of people coming up to you and talking to you about? What's kind of been some of the themes that they've been discussing?
Yeah, I think the big challenge is thinking about the goals of your platform. So we have a lot of great chats with folks because with Kratix, you can build any kind of platform. People are saying to me, what kind of API should I be building? What level of abstraction should I be aiming for? And then we often wind it back and say, well, what are you trying to accomplish? And really digging into the business outcomes. So Nikki Watt, I was just chatting to Nikki a few moments ago, early on, was saying you really got to think about the business outcomes to make sure the platform you're building gets the sponsorship with the technical team. So for me, that's been the most sort of interesting and challenging conversations I've had, is mapping these business goals into how you build platforms effectively. How, as a platform engineering team, often it's about thinking about your customers, which are the developers. And that's quite a big jump for people that are used to just doing operational work, infrastructure work, suddenly having to think about their platform as a product and the APIs they're building and the lifecycle management of the platform. That has been a big learning curve for a lot of folks.
Fantastic. Okay, so for those kind of who want to adopt platform engineering or kind of on starting their journey and so on, what would be one tip? And we've been asking everybody this, by the way, today. What would be one tip that you can actually provide? What's kind of one thing that you can maybe talk to them about or recommend to them?
I think the biggest tip is understand what your biggest pain point or biggest bottleneck is. It's that theory of constraints. You're borrowing from DevOps. This is kind of very much the previous era of platform engineering, right? DevOps. If you don't tackle the biggest constraint in your system, you're not really going to make the impact you want. So I say to folks, what's your biggest pain point? Is it around speed? Is it around safety? Is it around scalability? Things we talk about a lot at Sintasso. And then once you've understood that, really zeroing in, understanding the problem and creating a solution is a great way to kind of they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You've got to be very careful with your platform too. I think start small, get those bites going, and then it should cascade hopefully into success.
And it's a big elephant as well. Okay, so you guys have been sponsors. You guys have been doing some of the talks. What's kind of been some of the involvement you had in PlatformCon?
Sorry, what was that?
What's been the involvement? What you guys have been presenting? What are kind of some of the topics that you've been presenting and so on?
Yes, we've been doing running the booth here, lots of interesting chats to folks. Myself and Paula also have got talk on demand, so folks can check out our talks online. I was talking about architecture and platforms. And Paula was talking about sort of platforms as a product and things like that. And tomorrow, actually, Abby and one of our customers are going to be doing a live workshop as well, getting hands-on building platforms as a product. So it's been amazing. Like the touch points of the community has been amazing. Working with all the PlatformCon folks, we've got to learn from a bunch of folks. We've got the opportunity to present some of our and just getting stuff out there, hearing what people are struggling with, hearing what they're experiencing with our tools, and then giving us that feedback at the booth has just been amazing.
Fantastic. Well, Daniel, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. I think you guys are going to carry on, right? You've got a lot more stuff going on. So, yeah, and we'll maybe catch a beer later on this evening. All right. Thank you. Excellent. So that was the guys from Syntasso. They've got some really great merch as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here, socks and various other things. But yeah, that's kind of them. We've got maybe Firefly here.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
cloud infrastructure automation. Are you guys okay to talk to us for a minute? We're live on YouTube. Are you okay? Okay. Do you want to stand there and we'll. Excellent. Okay. So just a quick intro to yourself first, please, and then intro to Firefly, and then we'll just have a little conversation around that. Thank you.
So, okay, perfect. So I'm Jonathan. I work at Firefly. I'm a software engineer here, and I'm proud to present our platform. It's a infrastructure automation platform dedicated for platform engineers. Our mission is to increase cloud visibility, governance, monitoring. Basically, what we do is give you full visibility by scanning both your cloud and your Terraform code. And we also have some orchestration features. And yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, I mean, I've known about Firefly for a long time, and I think the kind of approach that you guys have had has been, fantastic. Kind of almost reverse engineering things that people have built in the cloud. What's kind of some of the other things that you're helping customers with? What's kind of some of the other features within your platform that kind of helps customers?
So right now we're pushing hard to get into the domain of orchestration. We're going to launch soon our own orchestrators with self-hosted runners and also runners that we offer, and that's in addition to our unique integration to existing CI. So if other orchestration, other companies that do orchestration focus on just one approach, you have to do it with us in our platform. We will offer 3 tiers of that. Either bring your own runners, use our runners, or bring your own CI. And all of these will guarantee complete monitoring, visibility, and governance for the deployment process of the app.
Fantastic. And when it comes to sort of platform engineering, what's the sort of things that you've been hearing from customers? What are some of the challenges that they have, and how you guys are helping them with your solutions?
So I think drifts are one of the big things, and right now more and more enablement is a big topic in platform engineering, because we want to shift the focus from the DevOps doing everything themselves to the developers taking more and more ownership and accountability on what happens at the point where they stop coding. And I think Firefly is a great tool for that, because it adds another layer that allows you to give the tools to the developers, but confidently, knowing that you can set custom policies that can prevent bad deployments. You can monitor the costs. You can monitor the deployment to different environments. So really, by setting up a few things, you can enable a lot of people in the organization to take part in the development, a bigger part in the development cycle.
Fantastic. Have you guys been presenting at PlatformCon? Has there been any presentations from you guys?
Our CTPO gave a lecture yesterday at the online event, and we're looking forward to participate in future events.
Fantastic. We'd love to have you back on our YouTube channels, because we're actually live streaming on 2 YouTube channels at the moment. But yeah, we'd love to do a little bit more of an in-depth conversation with you, maybe do a demo of your platform and things like that. I think that would be really cool. Thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so that was Firefly, guys. So
I think
really interesting conversation, and I'm really admirer of their solution. Same, I think they do a fantastic job.
Yeah, remember, I think in AWS Summit, it's the Mid London, we spoke to the Firefly guys, and they speak about their product, and I really like the approach because remember, Richard, they told us that if you have a traditional Firefly, then
Yeah.
Terraform template for you that infrastructure, and then they will migrate to the newer version of the or the newer version or newer style of the stack. So that portion I
Yes.
really like about it. I think I am really looking forward to see this in action with a very hard-coded kind of conversation when we have time in the near future on this YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can speak to the guys at Cloudsmith. I think they're playing rugby or something. The guys at Cloudsmith, so they're multitasking. They're good at platform engineering and also rugby apparently. So okay, so you guys are live on 2 YouTube channels as we speak. So yeah, anybody I can talk to about Cloudsmith and kind of a quick intro? They're all pointing at each other this time. Okay, so Nigel, if you can do a quick intro to yourself, please, and then we'll do just a quick intro to Cloudsmith and so on as well.
I'm developer relations here at Cloudsmith, primarily focused on education and really just showing the value of our technology.
Fantastic. So what's kind of Cloudsmith all about? What do you guys do? What's kind of your sort of main stake?
Yeah, so ultimately we want to make sure that the packages people are using, the actual artifacts, the building blocks that they develop on, are secure and they're vetted within those organizations. So in doing so, we provide a centralized artifact management platform so that you can store these artifacts that come from upstreams or that you build yourself. And then ultimately you can scan them for vulnerabilities or for licensing conflict, and then quarantine and ensure that they can't be used if they contain known bad malicious CVs.
Fantastic. So Nigel, some of the challenges you've been hearing from customers, what have they been saying to you today?
Some of the challenges that the developers are facing today? Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of it. It comes down to we didn't really know the challenges we're facing today. So a lot of organizations saying the main thing is delivery. So we want to be able to package stuff, put it to a centralized location, wherever that be, and then we can deliver that. And true, that solves one of the problems, but then they don't know from there, like, what are the risks associated with a lot of these public upstreams. So we talk through that with organizations. We show them examples today of where these risks exist or how many risks exist in these public upstreams. And in doing that, when we talk about caching from those upstreams and then actually providing kind of security and governance controls over that, then they could see, okay, maybe I need to extend beyond simply just delivery.
Fantastic. Have you guys been presenting at the event yourselves?
Yeah, so we haven't presented anything today. Mainly we had a Raspberry Pi earlier, so we were actually.
I did spot that earlier, and I'm a big fan of Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, the Pi is a fantastic idea. The idea is we had a MacBook and we had the Pi separate with a simple display, and the idea was the user could actually just go in, interact with Cloudsmith CLI and API. So the REST API is pretty flexible, so they get a feeling of, okay, I'm working with multiple different repositories, I'm making changes, I'm actually seeing value of the customization here with the REST API, and then ultimately they were able to see on the MacBook the changes happening in real time. Since we're SaaS, you can see these changes happen almost instantly.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Nigel, really appreciate your time. Thanks very much, and we'll maybe catch you next time as well.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you there.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Richard, that was a very, very good product pitch.
Yes, that was very good. Very slick. And it was, I mean, I like Cloudsmith. I think they're doing some great stuff. I think we probably need to give them a little bit more focus as well, you and I, and maybe have a deeper conversation with them going forward. But yeah, lots of interesting things. I'm kind of getting similar themes from a lot of the the vendors in terms of their conversation. That's why I've kind of been asking similar questions just to kind of get a feel for the different types of things that that people do. I'm curious about this particular company. I think it's Orcs. I hope I'm getting the name right. I'm not really sure. But let's see if we can maybe get a quick conversation going. Hi guys, we're live on YouTube. Are you guys okay to talk to us for a minute? We're live on YouTube. Are you okay to talk to us for a minute? Just an intro about your company and your solutions. Okay. Are you okay to kind of give us a demo of your solution? Would you be up for that? Okay, all right. Are you okay just to talk about your company, what you guys do as a solution? Okay, so just a quick intro to who you are, and then just intro to your company as well, please.
So we're Orchids, so we're kind of an enterprise-grade platform based on Netflix's open source Conductor. So Netflix kind of created this tool to help them kind of scale when they were moving away from selling DVDs, right, moving to streaming. So they created this open source tool, and the engineers that created it at Netflix took stewardship of the open source, and they created Orchids, which is an enterprise-grade version of it. It's essentially a microservices and workflow orchestration platform, and it helps companies kind of rapidly build out applications and also kind of manage their workflows. We're now getting more into agentic workflows and rapidly kind of building out more kind of flows and becoming more of a foundational platform.
Fantastic. So all the kind of the latest stuff around agentic AI, certainly kind of all the rage for this year. I think it's we've been saying it's kind of the AI agents sort of year. So all the protocols and things like that, you guys support all of that. And what sort of workflows are people building with that in your platform?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of stuff around insurance and insurance use cases. That's kind of one example where you kind of use AI to kind of deploy and manage kind of claim handlings. But one of the kind of concerns is around accuracy, viability, and where we come in, right, is we provide human in the loop. So you can kind of get approvals, provide reasoning as to why the AI or the AI agent is determining the validity of like, for example, a claim. And hence why having guardrails in place, like humans, is crucial. So part of the workflows is having a human in the loop step.
And are you seeing a lot of people kind of adopting sort of AI agents? Are they kind of looking at that experimentally for this year, or maybe kind of going into production? What's kind of your view on that?
Yeah, so what we're seeing is from a wide range of industries, from healthcare to financial services. We've seen a lot of demand, especially for implementing AI agents and implementing those into the flows. So we're rapidly trying to build out AI integrations across all the models, so you can kind of just do those out the box. Essentially, there's a kind of a lot of various use cases that you can kind of implement, and we're just testing the waters at the minute.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. We really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, so that's Orcus doing stuff with AI agents already, which is really great. So fantastic to hear that.
Yes,
orchestrating
I believe
AI agent workflows.
we are not very far away in the future. We will see a agentic AI gone.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Saim? I didn't catch that.
I'm saying if we are not very far away from the future where we have a process called...
No, the future is here. The future is here.
Yes.
The future is here, definitely.
So, Richard, unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I can give you one more who's with visit.
Yeah, let me just catch up with Coda, because I did promise I'll be talking to Coda. Let's see if this gentleman here. Oh, he's on a call. Okay. I can't seem to catch Coda at the right time. I just can't seem to catch Coda at the right time. He's available. Okay, fantastic. All right, so finally got it. Eric is going to talk to us. Fantastic. Eric, really appreciate you doing this. I know you're busy.
Yeah, no.
So okay, so just stand there for me. So what we'll do is we'll just ask you for you're live on YouTube, by the way, just to let you know.
I can't hear you too well.
So you're live on YouTube. Okay. So just to let you know. Okay, so just a quick intro to yourself, and then intro to Coda, and then we'll just ask a few questions.
Yeah, that sounds great. So yeah, my name is Eric Paulson. I'm the field CTO for the EMEA region for Coder. As you might be aware, or maybe not, Coder itself is a open source, self-hosted, cloud-based development environment. So I support our customers in the Global 2000, helping them onboard new engineers and help them get more efficient and up to speed
with a pre-configured dev environment that runs safely on their infrastructure. And now we're moving towards more of an agentic story as well. So how do you roll out AI agents in your software engineering environments? How do you have your human engineers interact with those agents and keep them on the right path? Our platform allows for both to coexist in a secure and reliable way.
Fantastic. So, Eric, what you've been hearing from people coming up to you and talking to you today, what's kind of been some of the stories from the folks at the conference?
Yeah, it's been great. The attendance here at today's event has been great conversations, and some of them are really around fragmented developer experiences, right? A lot of M&A that might be occurring in the enterprise. You know, hey, we just acquired a business that has a very different tech stack to what our other line of business is working on, and it's becoming difficult to manage those developer experiences at scale. So we're looking for a platform to kind of help unify that. As well, of course, a lot of AI talk, as it is sort of the talk of the town. And the speech that I gave a bit earlier was just really about how that agentic experience is going to be run in the enterprise. There's a lot of talk in the market about AI coding agents, Claude Code, OpenAI's Codex, right? Those run great on a local machine for a demo or a workshop or a YouTube video, but at scale with thousands of people, thousands of agents, that's where something like Coder comes into play, and it's been great to kind of see the interest in that.
Actually, yeah, I mean, certainly the consumer side of sort of Gen AI is completely separate, you know, and different from sort of the business side. What's you mentioned kind of, you know, AI agents and that sort of space. What are you seeing from customers? Are they starting to actually look at that now more aggressively? Are they kind of getting interested in AI agents?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that AI infrastructure projects are being taken on because ultimately customers are realizing that they need to use their own private LLMs. They can't use the publicly available data sets. And so how do they facilitate an agent that is run inside of their infrastructure that can connect to those model endpoints that uses the enterprise data, and that those agents have access to the enterprise context, really? So that's where we're seeing sort of the line between, consumer agents as well as enterprise agents. And from, you mentioned aggressive. I've had conversations with customers who are saying, hey, we want to reduce headcount from a software engineering perspective, and we see agents as a way to do that. Granted, that's a bit more of an extreme use case, but those conversations are being had, so it's something to kind of really be aware of, and it's interesting to see the market moving in that direction already.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Eric, really appreciate your time. Thanks very much for taking the time to do the conversation with us. We'd love to have you on our channel. So myself and one of my other colleagues actually live streaming right now on YouTube. So we're on 2 YouTube channels, not just one. We'd love to have you on a little bit more and kind of get into a little bit more in depth next time.
Yeah, happy to join and happy to continue the conversation. So cheers.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time. Thank you. Okay, so that was Coder. So it's really, I think, interesting. Some of the solutions here, Saeem, I think they're really fantastic in terms of what they're actually doing, and some of the activities that they're working on it as well. So I've got the folks at ChainGuard here, so we may be able to have a quick conversation with them as well. Shall we do that?
Sure. Yes, we can. Yes,
okay, they're already on the beer, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen. The guys at ChainGuard are starting early, so we're live on YouTube, guys. Anybody? We can have a quick chat about ChainGuard. Any nominations? Anybody? Everybody step back. Everybody step back there. Do you see that?
You're live right now.
You're live on YouTube. You're live on 2 YouTube channels. So we thought we'll just kind of do a quick intro to ChainGuard, maybe some of the things that you've been hearing from customers today, and that sort of thing. Yeah, cool. Okay, so quick intro. Sorry, so quick intro to yourself, and then intro to ChainGuard. You mind just standing there for me, so we can kind of get ChainGuard behind you there. Fantastic. Just quick intro to yourself, and then we'll talk a little bit more about ChainGuard.
So Tom Finch. So I lead the sales engineering team for EMEA at ChainGuard. Been here a good few months now. Was at Wiz for 4 years prior to that. So yeah, it's an exciting place to be. So what we're essentially doing is we are providing very minimal CVE-free, or as close to CVE-free container images as possible. So we are providing about 1,400 images available in our catalog today, adding about 50 to 100 every month. And essentially the way it works is we monitor all these open source projects, and when we see a new release, we pull that down into our factory, and if that rebuild will actually resolve CVEs out there, then we'll push it through our factory, and it eventually ends up with our customers. We build out on our own OS, so we actually built our own OS from the ground up. So the reason we did that is because it allows us to remove a lot of the dependencies. Well, basically we've ripped everything out, right? There's no shell in this thing, like everything's gone. So you end up with a very minimal base to start with. So it allows us to basically guarantee there won't be any CVEs in there until something appears and a rebuild goes and removes that. So what we're seeing a lot of our customers and prospects, today's been really interesting because everyone's coming with the same thing, right? What do you do? I'm a platform engineer, I'm an SRE. Like in terms of vulnerabilities that you're seeing out there today, whose job is it to go and fix that? And you'll see a hand go up, that's mine. Do you enjoy doing that? No, it's not really what I want to do. It's not the job I signed up to do. A lot of the time it's stuff people can't fix because it's tracking back to Debian or something. So it's, is it a risk exception thing and I just let it go? Or do I have to go and do some roundabout patching? And it's a real killer for time, right? People want to be developing, innovating faster, and fixing vulnerabilities isn't what they want to be doing. So by adopting a chain guard image rather than an alternative you might be pulling today, it allows them to go with that start left mentality. So obviously you're going to be scanning it in your pipelines. You still want to be doing all of that. We do our own testing, but you still want to be doing it. So the end goal there is that you can just have this image that gets you going, doesn't have vulnerabilities there. You add your config and it's a drop-in out replacement. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Fantastic. So one of the things I've heard recently about is as customers are kind of building their own, AI models, so they're doing their own LLMs. That probably introduces not just a number of potential risk areas, but maybe layers of risk areas. So how's ChainGuard kind of gearing for that, and to help customers?
So we provide base images, application images, and also AI images. So things like PyTorch and a variety of others. We're getting a lot of interest in that area, to be honest, because you speak to organizations and they're all adopting AI. And the problem is people are adopting AI really quickly. They're doing a lot of just straight to production stuff, like different areas are just using it. So the ability to provide that same concept, right, of a building from source, full attestation, you know where it's coming from a factory that's a build secure environment. It allows them to innovate quickly with something that's kind of been stamped with some form of approval and comes with less risk involved in it, because as these projects evolve over time, developers just pick it up and use it, right? So that's the approach we're taking in that space as well. Some interesting conversations today, particularly about ML, people are running workloads that are limited to a certain version of Python, let's say. So a case of, just upgrade to a latest version of Python doesn't really fix things for them. So with what we're doing, we're actually rebuilding from all versions, well, not all, but back to a certain end of life level, the versions of Python, so they can stay on that and not accumulate CVEs, stay CVE free. So it kind of prevents issues with those workloads as well.
Fantastic. Okay, excellent, Tom. We'll really appreciate you, Tom. We'll let you get back to drinking your beer, yeah, before it gets warm.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. Excellent. Okay, so that's ChainGuard. They've actually got one of their sort of demos and things here that they've been demonstrating and showing to people coming up to their stand, and we'll hopefully do a more in-depth sort of conversation with them in the future.
Absolutely. I think the ChainGuard is the world richest company, because I think they secured 14 million or something like that in this year.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
They can drink beer. They can.
Yes, indeed. They can certainly do that. Okay. It sounds like the disco and the DJ has started. So let's have a quick look around for that, and then we can. Unless you have any other ones you want me to talk to Simon, we'll probably finish at that point.
Yes, absolutely. I think the one final wish list for me, if you able to grasp, that Humanitech is nearer to you, then we wrap.
Oh, Humanitech? Yes, I can see Humanitech. Yeah, we'll have a quick conversation maybe with them. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, so we are at Humanitech. I don't know if anybody's available to talk to us live on YouTube. Are you okay? Are you available to talk to us on YouTube? We're live on YouTube.
Sure.
Are you okay to talk?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. There for me. And then if you can just do an intro to yourself, and then to Humanitech, what you guys do, and then we'll just have the conversation like that. Yeah. Okay. So just start with your name and then a little bit about what Humanitech does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm Toby. I'm a technical documentation at Humanitech. Humanitech, we are all about platform engineering. We have a core product that orchestrates all the things, makes life easy for platform engineers, makes life easy for your developers as well, if it's all set up properly. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
Fantastic. So have you guys been doing any of the talks at this event?
So I've been at the booth all day. I hear the talks were really cool, but talks at the booth were really great as well. So we just compared it to the quality of the conversations that we had at KubeCon last year, and coming here was way, way better. People are much more immersed in the topic of platform engineering. They have taken more steps already. They're more proficient, more knowledgeable about platform engineering in general. So it was very cool coming here. Thanks to everyone who stopped by our booth. It was great.
Fantastic. So what's kind of Humanitech sort of doing recently when it comes to, workloads being provisioned to multi-cloud environments, not just one cloud, but multi-cloud environments? How are you guys helping customers to actually do that when they're adopting more than one public cloud?
Yeah, so our orchestrator is generally very dynamic. So every time you deploy anything, it kind of looks what the target environment is going to be. Target environment can be Cloud A, the target environment can be Cloud B. So you can run part of your workloads in one and the other cloud, or you can run your dev environment in one cloud, your production in another. All of that is basically possible.
Fantastic. Okay, well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks very much. Really appreciate your time, Tobias. Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, so that was Humanitech. It's all kicking off here, Saim, because the DJ's in the house, as they say. So it's getting a little bit loud, and I'm struggling to hear all the folks here. But I think we can probably do some conclusions now.
Awesome, absolutely. Thank you very much. Can you move the camera to your face so we can wrap things up? Can you find a quiet space? Yes, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yesterday I spoke about the world's greatest tech speed reporter, and today you done it, Richard.
I've done it again.
Right.
I've done it again.
Yes.
Oops,
Yes,
I did it again.
Yes. I think I need a shirt where you said cloud therapist and cloud native FM feed reporter. From your shirt, people know this. Why you are here and what sort of content you. Thank you very much, Richard. As usual, we do it in a very, very lately, but this time we have a very polished content coming our way. We talked to Nikki Wars, we talked to Steve Fenton, we talked to Daniel Bryant, we talked to Vanguard's booth, we talked to Coder booth, and we talked to
Adrian, so many other people.
Many other people. And we have very different background from the people we actually speak to. Someone from the security, someone agentic AI, someone GitOps, someone just speak with the customer side, what the challenges they have been facing. So I believe this YouTube live stream is a very good evidence of the proof, and it's a very good information to extract from the different sector of the people to see where the actually platform engineering is actually delivering or happening all the time as well. But Richard gave us a very quick recap in a few words, in a few sentences, and then we wrap things around.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as we said earlier, we can't really do the whole thing justice. If people want to catch some of the talks and so on, go to the website and the YouTube channel. I think most of them are available on demand almost immediately. I wanted to just thank all of the folks who jumped on the live stream to be our special guests. Really appreciate you all doing that. That's been really fantastic. Also, thanks to all the vendors in the showcase area. We did a mini crawl for today. I think that we captured lots of value, lots of insights, again, this is diving very deep into platform engineering, and I think that's a really good thing. I've actually learned from this that this is a good thing. I've kind of always looked at it as just platform engineering, but now we've kind of looked at it from the inside. We've opened the doors, we've peered in, and we're kind of getting more details in terms of what this whole sort of space is all about. And that for me has been very educational today. You don't know the amount of stuff that I learned from these events, which is one of the reasons why I really do it, but also because I enjoy your company, say. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Richard. Once again, this is our fifth live stream of 2025. We started with the QCon, then we do it at SuCon 2025. We did an AWS Summit in London, and I'm from getting one other stream, and at that we did again on.
We did SuCon as well. As well.
Absolutely, and this is, I think, 4 or 5. This is our year, but we continue to chase more and more. There's more in the horizon, and idea was to give you the behind the scene feeling. And always, I think the good learning experience, as Richard told me, the product we chase, how people feel about it, and how people think about how their project is beneficial for the customer. But with that, thank you very much, Richard, once again, and now you are free for. I have actually kept you for 150 minutes. Thank you for doing it for so long.
Thank you for being a director as well, Sam. Really appreciate you kind of doing all that effort, setting everything up as well. I think it's been fantastic. We've both learned a lot, and we'll hopefully see everybody on the next live stream. Please don't forget to subscribe to both our channels. That's the Cloud Native FM channel for Sam and the Cloud Native channel for myself. That's it from me from PlatformCon in London, and we will see you next time.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to Cloud Native FM and Cloud Native Podcast, Cloud Native Therapist YouTube channel, and we will be meeting you soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you very much for Richard for doing this. Bye-bye.